Hello everybody, welcome back to this instructional video on JSE Data Foundry. Today I'm going to discuss the subscriptions module. So as you can see, the subscriptions module is the third module from the top on the left hand side. And the interface for subscriptions allows you in a nutshell to manage your subscriptions, as you might imagine. So what you are presented with is a list of all the products. You'll see that they are all iconized by the little package. These are all the products that you are currently subscribed to. Now, if you want to find new products and subscribe to new products, you should watch and execute the Find Products module, which I'm not going to discuss here today. So what you can see is that I'm currently subscribed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different products. And for each one of them, right here at the root, I have the option to open these products by clicking the Open link. And this will open these products in the product builder once again, where you can inspect the product and even clone the product to make a customized version of the product. I'm not going to discuss that in this video. On the right hand side, you have the card interface. And at the product level, this is showing you quite simply the product name, the source, and whether or not this is a standard product. So if I was to click on latest index statistics, you can see that it is a standard product, and my equity members is a product that I've customized for myself, so it's not a standard product. And I'm going to use this as the example today. Also, you can see the source. So this is quite a technical field. This is telling you where the data is coming from behind the scenes. So you should only really care about Data Foundry, but behind the scenes, Data Foundry is picking this up from a system called Explorer.odata in the JSE itself. Yes, we can pick up products over the internet and deliver them to you. And inside of that, inside of Explorer.odata, there is a thing called client roles, and we're accessing version 1 of that. So this is an endpoint definition. A little bit of a technical field here, but it's quite important. So then by clicking the plus, I can open up this My Equity Members product. And what I'm presented with is a list of all the available output formats that are available on this product. And you can see by the empty checkbox and the checkbox that I've already subscribed to the JSON channel on this product. So if I expand that, or if I select that and just collapse it, you can see on the right, it just tells you incrementally on the card interface that I'm now in a product called My Equity Members, and I'm on an output type called JSON. Again, in the left tree structure here, if I open that up, I'm presented with all the channels that this JSON output type is available on. And you can see that there's an FTP file channel, an HTTP content channel, as well as an HTTP file channel. And the only one of a checkbox is the HTTP content channel. Now, to the right, you can see that I can add a subscription. So the verbiage here is important. It's telling me I can add a subscription, so it's implying that I've already subscribed, which is also told to you by virtue of the fact that there's a checkbox. So if I open this up further, I actually see my default token. The token is indicated with this icon here. And again, as before, I can run the data right from here. Let me just demonstrate that quickly. There you go, data in real time. Close that up and go back. So for the content channel, I can add a subscription. For the FTP file and the HTTP file channels, I can subscribe now, which simply means I've not got a current token. And if I click this, it would create a subscription immediately. Let me go ahead and demonstrate that. So by clicking subscribe now, as before, a default token has been created and I can run it. Now in this case, because it's a file channel, it will basically download the same data as a file, and it's a JSON file. So let me demonstrate that. You'll see in the bottom left-hand corner that I've downloaded in real time a myequitymembers.json. Cool. So let's go back to the HTTP content channel for a second. You'll firstly notice now that I've got a subscribe now option under FTP file because I've not yet subscribed, and both of the other two channels are telling me I can add subscriptions. So let's focus on the HTTP content channel for the purposes of this discussion. When I click on it, I see the token itself. And by selecting the token, you'll see that I have a whole host of attributes that is shown below in the card interface. And these are all important, and this is what I want to discuss with you today. Cool, ready, here we go. So for this particular token, I have a name attribute, and I can call this whatever I feel like. So I can call it demo token 1, and this is important. You'll notice the tree is updating in real time, and I can save it. So the name attribute is there for your management purposes, whatever you want to call it. You even have the ability, it's a demo token for making video tutorials. And so there's the description field, and I can save it again. In general, you'll notice that any input field that is highlighted is editable. And you'll notice that the channel type, the output type, the product name here is not editable, but the name and the description is. So let's go through the rest of the editable content. This is very important. So in terms of managing your tokens, it's important to give them a logical name and maybe a description if it's not clear to you what your name means. And then useful features here from a management point of view is firstly the expiry date. So why do you want an expiry date? So a token allows access to your data product, in this case over an HTTP content channel. And you might want to limit the lifetime of that token, because remember, every time the token gets hit, you will potentially incur a cost. So you have the ability to share a token with a colleague or even a partner business, and they will simply be able to use that token. So maybe you want to make a token available only to the end of the month. And let's change the scenario up. So maybe it's not a demo token, maybe it's a developer token. So it's developer 1 at company X. Well, let's make it X. And in this case, the token might be token for report development. So the scenario I'm outlining here is that we've got a specific token that we want to issue to a company that we are working with, and they are doing a fancy report for us. So in this case, you should, or could at least, provide a expiry date for this token, which means after the 30th of the 4th, 2020, whoever's got access to this token will not work anymore. And that's useful because it limits your exposure to cost. Moving down the line to the right, you can also see that you can see when the last token was actually executed, and you'll see that this was today at 11:55. I apologize, it's not. Yes, it is today at 11:55:42. And then you'll have another option, which is the usage limit. So in addition to specifying a time when this token will expire, you can also specify a usage limit. Let's make it 50. So this means that if this token is hit more than 50 times, so what does hit mean? It literally means running it, right? Executing the report. Then after 50 times, this token will automatically expire. And I'm giving you to the right of that a non-editable field called current usage, which is now telling you that this token has been used twice out of the 50 potential times. And at this point, let's save. So you've got an expiry date and a usage limit and a name and a description, which gives you the ability to manage the token. You know that this token will expire at the end of the month, and you know that it can never be executed more than 50 times, and that gives you control. If for any reason you want to override this behavior, you also have this enabled button right at the top here. So by clicking enabled, I've set it to no. I've effectively disabled the token. You see the little cross here. The token is still in your library, but it is not available for execution. Okay, I'm going to revert on that change and enable the token again and save the product. So right, we've discussed the name, the description, that's for you to keep track, the expiry date of the token, and the usage limit of the token. This is all very important and powerful. Together with the enabled switch, it gives you as the customer control over how and when the token may be used. So what is this token? How do I execute it? Again, you can just click on run. I'm going to demonstrate this once more. So when you run it, let's be clear, it's literally hitting an API on collections.data Foundry, .jse, .co.za. It's providing an access token, which is this little code here, and this code, if shared with anybody, will allow anybody to hit this product. So you need to take care of hiding or keeping this code confidential. And then there's an extra parameter here, which we'll discuss later, which is related to paging of data. Now, this URL is exactly the same URL as the one we provide you in the bottom here of the actual access token. So this is key, because sharing the access token essentially means you provide somebody with this URL. And to the right of this field, you'll notice this structure is exactly the same as what was executed when we ran the product. You will find exactly the same base URL. You'll find exactly the same token with the skip token appended to it. So when we talk about a token, this is your access token code. Now, to the right of this, there's a copy URL to clipboard, and this is what you need if you want to share a token with anybody. Remember, you can share it with anybody. They do not need to log into Foundry. The fact that you have logged into Foundry means that this code, this token, is entirely unique, and you are the only one that has access to it. So share it, but share it cautiously. So copying it to the clipboard means I can just open a new tab and paste the token and hit it. And this is exactly what we do when we run the token from the front end. So doing what I just did is exactly the same as clicking run. I just copied it to the clipboard, and I then pasted it up here and hit enter. Now you can of course send this in a WhatsApp and an email, however you want to communicate the token to a colleague. That's how you can achieve that. So very important at the bottom here, the actual URL of the token is key with the copy URL to clipboard. Then we have three more switches or options on a token, and these are a little bit more advanced. I'll start with the simplest one, my feed. Now you should have watched, and if you haven't, please do watch the my feed functionality. So the my feed is in short a notification stream of all your products as they become available. Now, if for any reason you do not want this particular token to show up in that feed, because maybe it clutters up your feed, you have the ability to switch it off right here. And that's what I've just done, and I've undone it at the same time. So again, switch it off, save the token, and off you go. Access token has been updated. Simple as that. I'm going to leave it on for a second. Now, to show you the functionality of pre-page and flattened, it is important for us to just for a second look at the data quickly and have an understanding of the structure of the data. Firstly, you'll notice in this case, the data in itself is hierarchical. So you have attributes with their values to this point, and then you have an exchange client object, which in itself is expandable, and it has attributes below it. So this is effectively hierarchical data. Now, this is the most efficient way of delivering the data to you. So we have a contained object called exchange client, and if you know JSON, the curly braces is indicating that it has its own set of attributes, and you'll see the hierarchy here. I can expand it and collapse it. And each of the objects in this product will have the same structure as you would expect, and I can collapse and expand through them in this way. So what if you as a client, for whatever reason, typically if you're not a developer, you don't want this, right? You want this data to be what we call flattened. That's what I'm going to show you now. Simplest way is just to do it. So you simply go to the access token, you switch on flattened, and you save. And at this point, automatically, Data Foundry will flatten your data for you. So if I go back to this previous view of the data and I simply refresh the browser, you'll notice a flattened dataset has been created. So now, instead of having a collapsible object, you have an attribute name that is created with exchange client dot ID and exchange client dot alpha code, exchange client dot long name. There's no more containment here. So the object is flat. It's just got a list of attributes, and the implied hierarchical nature is communicated to you with this dot notation. Exchange client dot ID, exchange client dot alpha code, exchange client dot long name. So that's pretty cool. This is useful, especially if you want to consume the data in, for instance, Excel, because Excel does not understand hierarchical data. So that is flattening of data. So this is a feature that you can switch on right on the access token. Staging is an advanced concept, and I want you guys to look out for a separate video specifically on this. And as well, there will be a separate video for FTP access tokens. They are slightly different with a little bit of special functionality, so look out for that as well. Cool. Well, that's the end of this token introduction and your subscriptions functionality. Look out for more videos in this series to explain the rest of the available features here. Ciao.